My family and many in Los Angeles are devastated by the senseless murders of my dear cousins, Sergio and Ricardo Rios. How is it possible that two young men in this city are gunned down in broad daylight for simply grabbing lunch for their family? Sergio, 33, was a son, a father of two, a husband, and an artist who lit up any room he walked into with joy. Anyone Sergio encountered with, he was able to touch their hearts. Ricky, our sweet Ricky, was only 19. He had his whole life ahead of him. He was an artist like his older brother, who he adored, and he had a charming and bright demeanor. Our family was so excited for the life he was to carve out for himself, but that was stolen from him to a senseless murder. I ask you now, how many innocent men and women need to die before change happens on our gun laws? How many Rickies and Sergios need to leave us too soon? How many mothers need to live with broken hearts? How many children need to live and never see their parents again before we all decide enough is enough? We live in a broken system that endangers innocent people. This is not a black and brown problem or a gang problem, but a gun and mental health problem across this country. And the failure by our government to take action to protect our innocent lives. I hope none of you have to experience what my family is going through right now. Seeing their children slaughtered in broad daylight and waiting for their bodies to be recovered all day long. I ask for prayers and support, but most of all, I implore that our representatives take action. Please, if you're able to, donate to their GoFundMe page. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mabel Lopez, and I am the wife of Sergio Rios. Not good. Not good. I don't. The person took away our future. Sergio and I had, like any couple, had plans. We have two twins that are 2 years old, and we had plans for them to raise them. We had plans to see them together as a couple grow, and he would talk about little things like he can't wait to see our daughter have a quinceañera, things like that. And this person came and took that in an instant, and we went from a family of 4 to a family of 3. Sergio? I met him 8 years ago, almost 9. Well, we had a lot of plans together to raise our kids. We wanted to buy a home. He was hardworking. He did anything for his family, for his friends. He was a loyal person. That was the number one quality that I saw from an instant, that he was very loyal to all his friends and family. He was supportive of his parents, of his younger brother. Before our kids were born, he wanted to make sure that he was a role model to his younger brother, which he was. And once our kids were born, he wanted to ensure that our kids had the best life that we can provide for them.
And if anyone knew Sergio and Ricky, you knew they were artists, they were good people. You walk into any restaurant, bar, throughout the city, from the west side to the east side, people loved Sergio and Ricky. They were admired. They didn't make men like that anymore.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin speaking, after me, we're going to have Mr. Ivan Robles, who is a family member to my right, that will say a few words. We also have Ms. Alejandra Valles. She's the chief of staff for SEIU. She'll also say a few words. Mrs. Rios, who was a member of SEIU. I will also say this in English. I will say it very quickly in Spanish. We'll let the other speakers speak, and then We'll take any questions that you may have. We also have members of the LAPD investigative team who brought this case to justice today. On June 1st of 2024, around 2 p.m., 33-year-old Marcos Navarro allegedly shot two brothers who were in their vehicle parked outside their home near Exposition Park in Los Angeles. The victims exited their home, and after a brief conversation with the defendant, entered Sergio Rios' car that was parked on the street. Defendant allegedly armed himself with a 9mm automatic and fired numerous rounds at both brothers. Sergio Rios, 33, died at the scene. Ricardo Rios, 19, was taken to the hospital where he later died of his injuries. Mr. Navarro allegedly fled the location, and he was arrested by the LAPD on June 2nd at the VA hospital. We have charged Mr. Navarro with 2 counts of murder. We further allege that the defendant used a firearm in the commission of the offenses. Mr. Navarro is scheduled to be arraigned on July the 3rd on Department 30 of the Criminal Justice Center and is currently being held on a $5 million bail. If convicted as charged, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. The gun sentencing enhancement can carry up to an additional 10 years on each charge.
Good afternoon. First, I want to recognize Amalia. Amalia is a janitor for Metro Services. And Ricardo, who's 19 years old, is also a janitor, humbly working. Sergio as well. And janitors today from SEIU, United Service Workers West, are here to say, ya basta, enough is enough. This is not the first time that we've had to come to say justice for janitors, because there are janitors who are working hard, immigrant communities across California who wake up every day humbly to scrub our toilets, to make these office buildings clean, to tend to our gardens, to clean our children, who are being killed in the hands of senseless violence. We are here saying that the burden of our state cannot fall on the hands and backs of working, honest, hardworking immigrants like Ricardo and Sergio. And we will use the power of labor to highlight the partnerships that we have, like the one that we have with the district attorney here in Los Angeles, to call for more accountability and more services for those who are killing hard-working immigrants and separating families. So we stand here with the family of Ricardo and with Sergio. We stand here as janitors saying enough is enough. And we call on the City of Angels to protect those workers like Ricardo and like Sergio and like Amalia, who were working at Paramount Studios, making the City of Angels what it is for this state and for our economy. And working to get justice for them is not just getting a conviction, but it's also saying that their lives and the lives of immigrant workers matter. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Commander Al Lopez for the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm in charge of Operation South Bureau, which oversees South Bureau Homicide, who are the lead investigators of this case. This case was very fluid from the onset, from June 1st up into the filing, the presentation of the case within 48 hours to the district attorney's office. As the district attorney said, this investigation is very fluid, and our hopes are that this press conference will spur more leads to the general public. So we're hoping if you know something, you saw something, you have any additional information, please call 1-877-527-3247. All information will be investigated by South Bureau Homicide as this investigation unfolds. And as to the mode of your question, that is still something we are vetting out at this time.
Did he know the brothers, the suspect?
What we know is we do not believe that there was any connectivity between the suspect or the victims.